right, so your test is going to be over equations and inequalities, systems of equations and systems of inequalities. So we're going to see some where we have to graph a system and look for the region where they overlap, and some where we see a system of equations, two equations, and look for where they cross. So I want to remind you, first of all, if we're looking at an inequality, we flip the inequality sign if y is negative. We flip the inequality sign. Okay, so when we're looking at an inequality, we always look for the y part of our equation, and if the y part of our equation is negative, then we're going to have to flip our inequality sign, so we can just go ahead and do that beforehand. The other thing we need to remember is, if it's less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, we're going to have a solid line. If it's less than or greater than, we're going to have a dashed line. Okay? If it's less than, we shade below. If it's greater than, we shade above. Likewise, less than is below, greater than is above. Okay? We have a poster for this. You guys have got to internalize it. But for now, the poster's going to be up. It won't be up forever though. Okay? So we need to make sure we keep all of this in mind. All right? So that's the first thing. So let's take a look at this problem now. Okay? First of all, it says, which graph best represents the solution set for this system of inequalities? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the inequality sign itself. Okay, so for both of these inequality signs, neither one of them, they're both less than. Neither one of them has the or equal to sign, so that means it's not going to be either one of these two equations because they are solid lines, and we just got done saying that if it's or equal to, then it's going to have a solid line, and we don't have a solid line. Okay, we don't have or equal to. Now the next thing we're going to look at is, am I going to have to flip my sign? Well, my y is positive here and it's positive there, so my inequality signs are going to stay the same. So what that means is both of these inequalities I'm going to be shading below. So if I look at this one, if I shade below this line and below this line, my double shaded area, my double shaded area is the region that they have highlighted. If I shade below this line and below this line, this area is where my double shaded area should be, but they've got it up here. So the answer I'm looking for is C. Okay, now let's pretend that it wasn't that cut and dry, and I needed to know which equation was which. Well, in that case, I could use the cover-up method. I could say, okay, x equals negative 2, 2y equals negative 2. And I would look for the line where x was negative 2, whoopsie, x is negative 2, and y, whoopsie, and y is negative 1. So now I know that this line is the first one, so that I know which one I'm working with. So if I'm not sure, like, which one do I shade above and which one do I shade below, then I can use that to help me identify. Okay, so remember, for this one, I'm going to look at whether I've got this guy right here to see whether I have a solid or a dashed line, eliminate based on that. And if I need to, I'm going to check to see here if I'm going to flip my sign, and then look at my inequality signs accordingly, and then from there I'm going to start eliminating answers. We want to eliminate. We don't have time on this test. We do not have time to convert everything into slope-intercept form. We just don't have the time. So we want to use every trick that we've got. So the trick we're using here is the cover-up method and eliminating. That's the strategy we're using for this one. And I believe for this one we said the answer was, what did we say? It was C. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. Now for this one, it's a word problem. In order for me to do algebra, I need an equation. I need something to graph, okay? Because I'm looking for where they're the same. And where they're the same is where they cross. So I'm looking for, whoopsie, really, we're doing this? Why are you not writing? I'm looking for an intersection. So I don't know, oh yeah, sorry, that's my fault. I'm looking for an intersection, so I'm looking for where these two lines cross, okay? So we're gonna start by writing an equation. So Chloe's equation is y equals 6.5, so 650 plus 10 cents each topping. Okay, remember, This goes with the word each, okay? So whichever one's with each is what goes with x, okay? Then we've got Beck. And Beck's equation is y equals $4 plus 35 each, 0.35x, okay? So what are we going to do with those? We're going to stick them in our calculator. So give me a second. It was y equals 6.5 plus 0.1x. And then my other one was y equals 4 plus 0.35x. Okay, now I'm going to look, because what I'm looking for is where they cross. All right, and they cross at 10, 7.5. Okay, so now I have to make sure that I answer the question they're asking me. And they're asking, how many toppings do I need? So which variable is toppings? Well, remember, when I'm trying to find x, x is what comes after each or per. Okay, so x is toppings. That means y is cost. Okay, so I want x, which is 10. All right, let's try the next problem. The next one, so for this one, I've had a lot of people today say, oh, I can use the cover-up method or I can convert. Whenever they give me ordered pairs like this, I want to substitute them. Now, when I substitute them, since I have a calculator, I'm going to use my calculator. And what I want to do with this is I want to make sure that I substitute very carefully. So before I put any numbers in, I'm going to make myself like a skeleton or like a fill-in-the-blank equation, okay? So I have -3, and where the x is, I'm going to put open parentheses, plus 5y, okay? Fill-in-the-blanks are harder for me to mess up, so I'm going to make sure that I put fill-in-the-blanks for myself. So I put 2 for x and 27 for y, okay? So what I want is for my answer to be 21, okay? Is it 21? No, it's 129. So that's not the one I want. I know that that's not the one I'm looking for, so it can't be A. So now let's try the next one. The next ordered pair, so we know it's not A. Let's try the next ordered pair. It's -2, 3. So I'm going to put a -2 in there. Whoopsie. And I'm going to put a 3 in there. And I get 21. Awesome. So is that the one I pick? No, because it can't just work for one. It's got to work for both. Okay? So before I can decide that that's what I want, I have to make it work for both of them. Because I believe if I plug in answer choice D, it also gives me 21. But we'll try that later. Oh, whoops. That was 3. So now I got to make a fill in the blank for the second equation. So 6x minus y. And I want that to equal -15. Okay? So 6 times -2 minus 3 is -15, and that's the one I'm looking for. So that's the answer. Now I want to point this out to you. I'm pretty sure that this is going to work. If you look at this one here, nope, it didn't work. Never mind. Oopsie. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll give you 2 where one equation works. So it has to work for both. It can't just work for one of them. Okay? So remember that. All right, so for this one, let's move on to the next one now. Now this one is crazy looking. There's so much happening. I had somebody in one of my classes say, oh, I converted all of these into slope-intercept form. Every time you convert something into slope-intercept form, you have to do 5 operations, okay? So that's 5 for each of these 8 problems. That is 40 operations that you have to do to convert these into slope-intercept form. That is 40 chances for you to mess up. We don't want to do that, okay? We're trying to use our tools and our resources effectively. So instead of doing that, let's try something else. I'm just going to back a lot because I'm going to be honest with you, I already entered this and I don't really want to type it again. We're going to do the Y1 thingy. My kids know what the Y1 thingy is. Anybody who's not my kid, it's linear regression. Really? Bummer. Okay, so I have to put a table in. I guess that didn't work out. I have to add a table. So I'm going to carefully. Now, what I told my kids also is I am notoriously bad at entering horizontal tables. So please be careful when you're entering them. What I did I'm not proud, but what I did was I like got this part right, but then when I went to do the y's, I put 81 and then I put 51 and then like I just randomly started putting numbers from line B. So be careful and don't be like me. Okay? Okay, so now that we've got those in there, now would we do this normally? No, normally we would put this in a table, we would do rate of change, we would find the y-intercept, but this is a test. It's a multiple choice test. We don't have time. We've only got 47 minutes to do these 12 questions. We don't have time for that. So we are using every resource we have available to us, so we are going to use linear regression. I hope you're not mad about that. Anybody watching, you'll be fine. We're just being resourceful. Okay. Oh, I forgot to make it the tilde. I do not like the tilde. Okay. What did I do wrong? Oh, it should be 81. Okay. 81. Okay, there we go. Go me. All right. So now, when I do this, I see right here, it gives me my slope and my y-intercept. So I'm going to write an equation. Y equals m, which is negative 6x, plus 15. Okay, my eyeballs are gravitating towards these two right now because they have a 6x, a y, and a 15. Like my brain is like, why would I even consider those two? I see all the numbers I want to see. My brain wants to go right to those questions, and so I'm going to do it. All right. Now, I also noticed that these have right here, the x and y are on the same side of the equal sign. So I need to get my x over to the other side. When I move something across the equal sign, it has to change signs. And then it's gone. So now I have 6x plus y equals 15, which is, boop, right there, answer choice D. Now, I want to point something out to you. In one of my classes today, I made a mistake. And I didn't pay any attention, and I said y equals 6x plus 15, because I didn't pay attention to this negative here. Now, when I did that, I did the same process. I got negative 6x plus y, and I was like, oh, these are all positive 6x. So I can flip the sign on 6x, but if I do that, I have to flip the sign on everything. And take a look at this answer choice right here. It's exactly what I would get if I got the slope wrong. So you have to be so careful. We have to be careful. Remember, we're careful and precise in algebra. Careful and precise. You have to be so careful because it's so easy to mess this up. Okay? Be very, very careful. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Now, I had a lot of people look at this question and they were like, no lie, they were pretty freaked out by it. But on this question, all we want to know is, do you know where to shade? Okay? Now, if you notice, the lines are color-coded. Okay, so this is region B is the red line, and there's a red line, it's negative 2x minus 3, and the blue line is 1/3 x minus 2. So if you're trying to figure out which one you're shading, this is my red, and this is my blue. Okay? So I'm going to look at this. So this is greater than, hold on, turn this back on. Greater than means dashed line above. This one's also greater than, which means dashed line above. So I'm not worried necessarily about the dashed line, I'm worried about the shading. So I'm shading above the red line and above the blue line. Where is my double of shading? It's region A. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Oopsie. Let's look at the next one. So the next one says greater than, so it's greater than, whoopsie, it's greater than the red line and less than the blue line. So again, it's above the red and below the blue. Well, above the red, below the blue, that's region D. Okay? Let's look at this let's look at this last one here. Well, let me do the other two. Okay, so for this one, I'm just gonna kind of I'm just gonna sketch the graph because I don't want to have to keep scrolling. So I've got, like, pretend this is my graph, and then I've got like that, right? Okay, so on the red one, I'm gonna shade below. On the blue one, I'm gonna shade above, so I'm looking at this region. On the other one, I'm shading below and below, which is this one. Okay? So again, all we're doing on this one is we're checking to see if you know how to shade. Okay, so I want to point out to you, I'm not going to go over question 7, but it's like almost exactly the same. Okay, so we're not going to do number 7 because I've already done one, but you know, they're basically the same question. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. This one is a word problem. All they're asking you to do is write an equation from this situation. So here's what I do. I look at what is the same. Okay, so I have black and white. Whoopsie. I have black and white copies, and I have color copies. Okay, they said black and white is B, color is C. Black and white copies are 8 cents. Color copies are 15 cents. Okay, so from here, I can use this part to help me eliminate these bottom equations, okay? So B should be with 0.08. Well, here it's not. C should be with 0.15, and here it's not. So I've eliminated 2 answer choices just by looking to see which ones have the right numbers with them. Okay, now the other thing is, remember we talked about like terms. So if I have copies plus copies, it should equal copies. Money plus money should equal money, okay? So they have B plus C. Well, I have 68 copies. So my black copies and my color copies should equal 68. Here they don't. I have 8 cents and 15 cents. It should add up to $6, and here it does. D is the answer that I'm looking for. When I add 2 things together, they have to be the same thing. Okay? Alrighty. Like I said, we're going to skip number 7. Let's look at number 8. Okay, number 8. Now for this one, all they want you to do is estimate. Okay, they're not asking you to give them a precise answer. They're asking you what's an estimate, what's closest. I don't need the exact answer. I just need to know what's close. Okay, so let's look. So over here, I'm looking for where they cross. Okay, they cross like maybe, let's say like maybe 6.5, and then we're like -0.5. So we're like halfway past 6 and halfway below 0. Well, that looks like this one. Okay, again, I'm just estimating. Okay, remember, it's easy to get confused. We always graph x, y. It's easy to get confused because when we plot slope, we do y then x. Remember, we're looking for slope. And notice they have an answer right there for you just in case you mess up, because they like it like that. Also notice they gave you an x-intercept there just to mess with you. So be careful. Remember, you're looking for where they cross. Let's look at number 9. Okay, this one's actually really easy. I'm probably not really, this one, all I have to do is I just have to put these equations in the calculator and see which one matches. Now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to look and see if there's any way I can eliminate. Okay, so I see one of the lines, well, let me get my marker thingy on here. One of the lines goes through -8. I can't necessarily tell which one it is, but what I know about it is the one that goes through -8 has negative slope. It can't be that one, and it can't be that one. So I've eliminated 2 answer choices. I know it can't be C or A, because the line that goes through -8 has to have negative slope. Now the line that goes through -3 has to have positive slope, and that didn't help me. But again, at least I eliminated 2 answer choices. Remember, my goal is to increase my chances of getting this right by removing answer choices. I've doubled my chances of guessing the right answer, but I don't have to guess because I have a whole calculator. Whoops, hold on, let me hide this. Okay, so I'm going to put into my calculator y equals, which 2 did I eliminate? Hold on, let me look. Okay, B and C. Okay, y equals 2/5. Sorry about this. Somebody needs to come to the front desk. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to put the 2/5 x, what is it, -3? And then I'm going to put y equals -3/5 x. -8. Okay, and that crosses at -5, -5, which is where this one crosses. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. I'm feeling pretty good about B, but I'm going to check the last one. Because I think my last answer choice, whoopsie. My last answer choice, I don't even know at this point, because man, I must have scrolled. Was I think answer choice D? So let's try that one. That one, I'm pretty sure that's not it, but let's check. And this looks good. Okay, let's try, sorry, let me stop talking. I'm going to try the last one. So that one is, instead of 2/5, it's 5/2 x. And instead of -3/5, it's -5/3. Yeah, that graph doesn't look like that graph. And the solution for that one is right here at -1.2, -6. That's not the one I'm looking for. So B is definitely the answer I want. Now, notice I eliminated everything but the right answer. Okay, love that for me. I know this question is 100% correct. All right, nope, that wasn't it. Okay, so let's go to the next question, number 10. Okay, I will tell you, there was something wrong with one of these graphs, but what you can do is you can just plug the ordered pairs they give you into these equations and see which one gives you the right one. Okay, so I've got, okay, so I'm gonna, okay, let me just plug them in. It's gonna be easy. It's no big deal. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, so let's get rid of these, and I'm gonna actually just plug them into the second order pair because, I mean, in theory, let's look at y equals -3x minus 2. So that line goes through 0, -2. Well, this line, graph C, doesn't go through 0, -2, and neither does graph B. So that's good. Okay, that's good. So I know that it's not graph C or graph B. So now let's look at my answer choices. So I've got 0, 14. That's not where they cross. 0, -2. These cross at 0, -2. So that's looking pretty good. I'm feeling like maybe that's the solution. Which one best represents that system of equations? Well, I got to figure out what the other equation is. I'm going to be honest with you, neither one of them does because the graph is wrong, but graph A is supposed to be it. I would have used the cover-up method to figure it out. The equation is just not right. So, oops, you know, sorry, things happen. All right, well, good. Let's look at question 11. Okay, so for this one, they're wanting you to say true or false. So they're wanting you to look at these equations and tell them which ones are true and which ones are false. Okay, so the first one says one of the equation systems, one of the inequalities is y equals x minus 2. So to check that for myself, I'm going to put y equals x minus 2 and see, does that match? Well, on that one, I go through 2, 0 and 0, -2. Looks good. My inequality sign is, what is my inequality sign? My inequality sign is greater than, so I should be shading above it. It's dashed, but I should be shading above it. That's not true. That's false. That one's not right. Gosh, I hope so. Okay, the point where the two lines intersect is included in the solution. Okay, so they intersect right here. Okay? That is on the intersection of a dashed line and a solid line. Remember, I can't include points on a solid line. So it works for the dashed line, but it doesn't work for the solid line. So that is also false. The x-intercept of the dashed line is included in the solution set. That is also false because the x-intercept of nothing on a dashed line is going to be included. Okay, one of the inequalities is y is greater than or equal to, so I'm going to say equals because I can't graph greater than or equal. I'm going to say y equals -x plus 1. And that goes through 0, -1. Okay, and that looks right to me. That one looks good. It goes through those. It's a solid line. It's greater than, so I would shade above. That one looks good. That one's true. I like that one. The 0.63 is included in the solution set of the system. Okay, so let's take a look. If I go over 6 up 3, If I go over 6 up 3, that is definitely in the double shaded area. It's in my shaded region. So that one is going to be true also. Okay, I apologize in advance if I did anything wrong on this one. Sorry. So this one, it says, what's the value of x in the solution of the system of equations? So I'm not just looking for the solution, I'm looking for x, okay? So my ordered pair where they cross here, hold on a second, my ordered pair where they cross is right here. It's at -2, 3. The x in that is -2. Notice they've also got 3 there for you to pick just in case. I'm surprised they don't have more answers that are like y-intercepts and x-intercepts, but you know, they like to be tricky with it. Okay, so again, that one wasn't too bad. They're just asking you for, they're asking you to find that y-intercept. Okay, so this is a tricky question. I do not love this question. So there's a couple of ways you can solve this, but they gave me a line that's already graphed. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna start plotting points. So they gave me a line that's already graphed with all this information, and a graph and everything, and then down here they say the second equation is y equals 0.80x. Okay, so I have a calculator. I'm going to put y equals 0.8x, and I'm going to be honest with you, y'all. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so easy. When I first saw this question, I was like, what in the world are they asking me to do? This is crazy. I had a series of moments, confused moments, like what am I supposed to do here? Because my issue, what I saw was that this equation. This equation and this graph didn't match, and my brain kind of melted a little bit. But after I read it, they're saying all of this information here is what's graphed here. Also, the other equation is 0.80x. So I'm looking at this, and I need to figure out how to graph it. So I'm going to make a table so I can find some points to graph. Now, it's the real world. I don't care about these negative values. I don't care about them at all. So I'm just going to start adding values to my row. Okay, so I see I have a point at 0, 0. I have a point at 5, 4. So let me get rid of these and see if I can get whole numbers. Okay, look at that. Okay, so I have a point. Now let's start plotting these points. Again, all I've done is I went through and I found some points that I can plot. I am not trying to point. I mean, I think before I had, let me show you, sorry, before I did that. I had 1.8. I'm not trying to plot over 1 up 0.8. That's 5 right there. I can't do that. So I'm trying. That's why I did that, so that I would have whole number integer points to plot. Okay. So I'm going to start plotting these points. So I know that I have a point at 0, 0. I have a point at 5, 4, and that's probably right about there. I have another point at 10, 8. I have a point at 15, 12, okay? And if I did my, okay, wow, that was not it. If I did my very best to draw a line, oops, it looks like they connect right around here. If I want to be more precise with it, well, let's look at the answer choices they gave me, 15 and 12. So what are my choices for answers? Hold on, let me. And I know for a fact that they should be the same for both of them. So standard tickets are here. So if I go over 11, the lines aren't going to cross there. Okay, so here is my line approximately. 11, my lines don't cross there. That's not it. If I go over 14, okay, that's looking pretty good. If I go over 6, my lines definitely don't cross there. 35 isn't even on the graph. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about 14. All right. So I'm going to pick, 14 for this one. Now, if I look at the discounted ticket, same thing. If I go up 6, that's over here. That's not where they cross. If I go up, because again, the reason why I said that is because discounted tickets are over here. I'm sorry, if I go up 11, that is about where they cross. If I go up 14, that's before where they cross. 6 is like nowhere near where they cross, and 35, they don't cross there. So again, I feel pretty good about 11. Again, it's an estimate. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just an estimate. Okay, so that's our review. If you have questions about it, please feel free to send me a message on Remind. Happy to help you. If you think I did something wrong, I probably did. Please feel free to let me know, and then I will let the internet know. You're welcome. Have a good weekend. Please study. Please, please, please study. You have to study. Please, please. Have a good weekend, bye.